Hello and welcome to the Celebrity Died News channel. We're thrilled to have you join us today. In this video, we take a moment to honor the lives and legacies of 5 American celebrities and comedians we tragically lost this week. These individuals have made significant contributions to the world, whether through music, acting, sports, or activism. Their influence is immeasurable, and today we pay tribute to their memories. Throughout this video, we'll delve into the remarkable lives of these beloved figures, reflect on their impact within their industries, and acknowledge the lasting impressions they've left behind. Be sure to stay with us by subscribing to the channel. Chris Mortensen dies. Esteemed NFL reporter for ESPN passes away at 72. Chris Mortensen, the highly regarded ESPN NFL reporter, has passed away at the age of 72, as confirmed by the network on Sunday morning. Mortensen's death follows a battle with cancer, although no official cause was provided. Throughout his career, he gained widespread recognition for his extraordinary contributions to sports journalism, particularly his extensive coverage of the NFL. ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitaro issued a heartfelt statement about Mortensen's passing, describing him as an industry pioneer who was deeply respected by his peers. Mort was universally beloved as a supportive, hard-working teammate, Pitaro said. He covered the NFL with extraordinary skill and passion and was at the top of his field for decades. He will truly be missed by colleagues and fans, and our hearts and thoughts are with his loved ones. Mortensen's departure marks the loss of a truly iconic figure in sports journalism, a man whose legacy extends far beyond his years of work at ESPN. A storied career in journalism, Chris Mortensen's career spanned over 5 decades, and his influence on sports reporting was immense. Mortensen's tenure at ESPN, where he worked from 1991 until his retirement in 2023, was defined by his insightful, detailed, and often groundbreaking coverage of the NFL. Mortensen became a household name among sports fans and was admired for his professionalism, dedication, and in-depth knowledge of the sport. Before his time at ESPN, Mortensen had already established a successful career in sports journalism. From 1983 to 1990, he wrote for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, where he covered the Atlanta Falcons, the Braves, and the NFL. His work in the field was highly regarded, earning him the prestigious George Polk Award for his investigative reporting in 1987. During this time, Mortensen honed his reporting skills, which would later become a hallmark of his career. After his tenure at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Mortensen moved on to other prestigious positions in sports journalism. He worked as one of the first writers for The National, a sports daily launched by renowned editor Frank Deford in 1989. Mortensen's role in the early days of The National allowed him to showcase his sharp writing abilities and his deep knowledge of sports, solidifying his reputation in the industry. He also contributed as a columnist for The Sporting News and was a regular contributor to Sport magazine. In 1990, Mortensen joined CBS Sports, where he worked as a consultant for the network's flagship show, NFL Today. His experience and insights into the NFL were highly valued, and he quickly made a name for himself as one of the foremost experts on the sport. However, it was his arrival at ESPN in 1991 that marked the beginning of a remarkable career in sports broadcasting. A storied legacy at ESPN. At ESPN, Chris Mortensen became one of the most recognizable faces in sports journalism, particularly for his NFL coverage. Mortensen regularly appeared on SportsCenter and ESPN's NFL-related programming, where his expert analysis and scoops made him a trusted figure among viewers. His ability to break stories and provide exclusive insights into the NFL earned him a reputation as one of the top reporters in the field. One of Mortensen's most notable scoops came in 2016, when he broke the news that Peyton Manning, the legendary quarterback, would be retiring from the NFL. The news was a significant moment in the world of sports, and Mortensen's ability to secure the story ahead of the competition was a testament to his skill as a reporter. This was just one example of the many important stories he reported on during his illustrious career, which spanned decades and chronicled the rise of the NFL as a global powerhouse. Throughout his time at ESPN, Mortensen became known for his in-depth reporting and his dedication to providing accurate, timely, and insightful coverage of the NFL. He was particularly adept at building relationships with players, coaches, and league officials, allowing him to gain exclusive information that made his reports stand out. His commitment to the craft and his work ethic earned him the respect of colleagues and fans alike. In 2016, Mortenson's contributions to the field of sports journalism were recognized with the Pro Football Writers of America's Dick McCann Award. This honor, which is awarded to individuals who have made a lasting impact on the coverage of professional football, was a testament to Mortenson's long and distinguished career. He was honored during the Pro Football Hall of Fame's enshrinement ceremony that same year, a fitting tribute to a man whose influence on the sport was undeniable. Edward Bond dies, celebrated British playwright and screenwriter of Blow Up and Saved, dies at 89. Edward Bond, the Oscar-nominated screenwriter of Blow Up and a prominent British playwright whose works faced censorship in the UK, has passed away at the age of 89, according to his agency. The news of his death was confirmed by Casaroto Ramsey and Associates, though the cause of his death was not disclosed. Bond's death marks the end of an era for one of the most radical and influential dramatists of the 20th century. His works, known for their provocative and often controversial themes, have left an indelible mark on the world of theater and film. The agency described Bond as one of the greatest dramatists of the 20th century and noted that his contributions to theater were nothing short of transformative, stating that he made his mark upon the theatrical world with radical, thought-provoking, and unerringly original work. Bond's influence on both the stage and screen is undeniable, and his legacy will continue to inspire new generations of artists. The life and career of Edward Bond. Born on July 18, 1934 in London, Edward Bond grew up during a period of significant social and political change in Britain. He left school as a teenager, and after a period of reflection, began his journey in the world of drama. His early years were marked by a fascination with theater, and he eventually found his way into the profession as a playwright and screenwriter. His debut play, The Pope's Wedding, premiered in 1962 at the Royal Court Theatre, signaling the beginning of a career that would be defined by bold themes and a confrontational style. Bond's early works were both highly innovative and controversial, challenging the status quo and pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable on stage. In 1965, his breakthrough play Saved debuted at the Royal Court Theatre. The play was notorious for its graphic and brutal portrayal of violence, including a shocking scene in which a group of teenagers stoned a baby to death in a stroller. The play's uncompromising depiction of modern British life, with its themes of alienation and brutality, was too much for many at the time, and the Royal Court Theatre was prosecuted for staging it without government approval. The legal battle surrounding Saved became a pivotal moment in British theatre history. The play was banned in the UK, and it was followed by further censorship controversies surrounding Bond's works. His next play, Early Morning, 1967, which satirized the British royal family, was also banned, and these works led to a legal and cultural shift. The backlash against the Theatre Act of 1843, which required scripts to be approved by the Lord Chamberlain's office before they could be performed, culminated in the abolition of the law in 1968. This marked the end of stage censorship in the UK and allowed for greater freedom of expression in theatre. Despite the controversy, Saved was later recognized as a modern classic, and it continues to be performed internationally. Bond's works, with their unflinching exploration of the darker aspects of society, helped lay the foundation for a new era of theater in Britain, one that was willing to confront uncomfortable truths about human nature and the social order. In addition to his success in the theater, Bond also made significant contributions to the world of film. His first major film credit was as the screenwriter for Michelangelo Antonioni's 1966 film Blow Up, a landmark film in the history of cinema. The film, which starred David Hemmings and Vanessa Redgrave, explored themes of perception and reality in the context of a fashion photographer's mysterious encounter with a woman. Bond's dialogue work for the film earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Screenplay, solidifying his reputation as a talented screenwriter with a unique voice. Following his success with Blow Up, Bond went on to write the screenplays for several other notable films, including Walkabout, 1971, and Laughter in the Dark, 1968. His foray into screenwriting was a natural extension of his theatrical sensibilities, with his film work often reflecting the same themes of alienation, social disillusionment, and the human condition that marked his plays. While his film career did not reach the same level of commercial success as his work in theater, Bond's contribution to cinema remained significant. Throughout his career, Edward Bond wrote dozens of plays that explored the complexities of human nature, politics, and society. Many of his works were inspired by classical literature, particularly the plays of William Shakespeare. One of his most famous plays, Lear, 1969, was a modern reimagining of Shakespeare's King Lear, placing the timeless story of familial conflict and betrayal in a contemporary city. Michael Jenkins, the Australian writer-director renowned for his work on Heartbreak High and Blue Murder, has passed away at the age of 77. Jenkins died on March 4th following a Parkinson's disease diagnosis in 2020, with his death confirmed by his management through his partner, Amanda Robson. His friend Ian Barry shared in a tribute that Jenkins passed away surrounded by Robson and close family members. His management expressed that Jenkins' impact on the entertainment industry and his enduring legacy as a filmmaker and storyteller would not be forgotten. Known for his dynamic and intense directing style, Jenkins was behind some of Australia's most iconic TV series, including the internationally popular teen drama Heartbreak High, which was rebooted by Netflix in 2022. He co-created the show with Ben Gannon for Network 10 in 1994, which helped launch the career of The Mentalist star Simon Baker. Jenkins was also responsible for Blue Murder, an Australian crime drama widely regarded as one of the best in the country. He directed the two-part miniseries for the ABC in 1995 and later came out of retirement as a producer for the 2017 revival Blue Murder, Killer Cop, produced by Endemol Shine Australia. Jenkins began his career as a reporter before transitioning to production at Australia's public broadcaster, the ABC. After a decade as a director, he worked on the controversial police corruption drama Scales of Justice in 1983 and later directed the Australian musical feature Rebel, starring Matt Dillon, Deborah Byrne, and Brown Brown. Jenkins's career gained major momentum with the 1993 film The Heartbreak Kid, from which Heartbreak High was born a year later. The series followed a group of Australian teenagers at Hartley High, a multicultural school in Sydney's suburbs. It gained such popularity in the UK that when Network 10 cancelled it in 1996, BBC Two funded an additional 26 episodes, with the ABC later commissioning further seasons from 1997 to 1999. In 2000, Netflix partnered with Fremantle Australia to remake Heartbreak High for a modern audience, releasing all 210 original episodes. The reboot, which launched in 2022, won an international Emmy and was renewed for a second season, set to premiere in April 2024. Jenkins served as a script consultant for the revival. While Jenkins' output slowed after Heartbreak High, he garnered attention in 2007 when he was named director of a controversial Australian film about a gang rape. The project, which drew criticism from New South Wales Premier Maurice Iemma, was eventually scrapped despite Jenkins' assurance that it would offer a sympathetic exploration of the events. Jenkins' contributions to the Australian screen industry have been widely celebrated. Screen Producers Australia praised his extensive influence, stating that his legacy would continue through the enduring popularity of the productions he worked on. Australian actor Adam Zwar also paid tribute on social media, remembering Jenkins as the writer-director behind Blue Murder, which he called arguably the greatest Oz TV series ever, and reflecting on Jenkins' ambition to create a Ned Kelly film told through the perspective of Joe Byrne. Jim Beard legendary Steely Dan keyboardist passes away at 63. Jim Beard, a multifaceted pianist, keyboardist, composer, producer, and arranger whose musical legacy spanned genres and generations, has died. He passed away on March 2nd in a New York City hospital at the age of 63 due to complications from a sudden illness. Beard's contributions to jazz and popular music made him one of the most influential musicians of his time, with a career that saw him work alongside legendary artists such as Steely Dan, Wayne Shorter, John McLaughlin, and Pat Metheny. A multifaceted musician with an expansive career, born on August 26, 1960, in Ridley Park, Pennsylvania, Jim Beard's passion for music was evident from a young age. Moving to New York City in 1985 to pursue a career in music, Beard quickly became immersed in the city's vibrant jazz scene. His talent and versatility as a pianist and composer earned him a place among some of the biggest names in jazz and popular music, establishing him as an integral part of the industry. Beard's musical prowess extended far beyond performing. He was a gifted composer and arranger whose work was highly regarded by musicians and critics alike. He was known for his intricate yet accessible compositions that bridge the gap between jazz, rock, and pop music. Beard's ability to blend complex harmonies with engaging melodies made his work stand out and earned him recognition in both the jazz and popular music worlds. Beard's career trajectory took a significant turn when he joined the iconic jazz rock band Steely Dan in 2008. As a member of the band, Beard contributed to the band's unique sound, which mixed elements of jazz, rock, and sophisticated pop. His work with Steely Dan not only helped define the band's later sound, but also introduced him to a wider audience, solidifying his place in music history. Touring and collaborations with music legends. Throughout his career, Beard collaborated with some of the most prestigious artists in jazz and beyond. He performed with jazz legends such as Wayne Shorter, John McLaughlin, and Pat Metheny, all of whom were known for their innovative contributions to the genre. His performances were marked by his exceptional technique and his ability to adapt his style to the needs of different artists and musical settings. One of the highlights of Beard's career was his work with the late jazz saxophonist Michael Brecker and the Brecker Brothers. Beard worked alongside Brecker on multiple occasions, contributing to the band's signature sound. He was also a regular collaborator with legendary trumpet player Dizzy Gillespie, further cementing his reputation as a top-tier musician. In addition to his jazz collaborations, Beard worked across genres, contributing his talents to a wide range of artists in pop, rock, and fusion. He worked with Brazilian guitarist Toninho Horta, as well as the soulful Meshel Ndegeocello and iconic guitarist Steve Vai. Beard's versatility made him a sought-after collaborator in a variety of musical environments. Beard's commitment to excellence was evident in his work with some of the most respected orchestras and ensembles in the world. He performed with the Metropole Orchestra, the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, and the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra, showcasing his talent in diverse settings. He also graced the stages of major music festivals, including the JBC Jazz Festival, Montreux Jazz Festival, North Sea Jazz Festival, and Lev Under the Sky Festival, where his performances captivated audiences worldwide. Contributions to film and television. Beard's talent wasn't confined to the stage. His compositions were featured in a wide range of media, including television, movies, and radio. His distinctive piano playing could be heard in major Hollywood film scores, where his ability to create evocative musical landscapes added depth and nuance to countless films. His work was featured in productions from major studios such as Sony Pictures, Paramount Pictures, and Columbia Records, contributing to the cinematic experiences of audiences around the world. Beard's compositions were also featured in television shows and radio call signals, further showcasing the breadth of his musical influence. His ability to create memorable and impactful music made him an invaluable asset in the world of media production. His work in film and television helped bridge the gap between the worlds of jazz, rock, and popular music, and his music continues to be appreciated by audiences worldwide. 6 solo albums and a legacy of recordings. In addition to his extensive collaborative work, Jim Beard also released 6 solo albums, with his most recent, Show of Hands, released in 2013. These albums showcased Beard's talents as both a composer and performer, featuring a mix of jazz, fusion, and contemporary music that highlighted his impressive skills on the keyboard and his ability to push the boundaries of music. Jackie LaFaurie, the first ever Miss USA, passed away on Friday in Los Angeles at the age of 93. She made history by winning the Miss USA title in 1952, paving the way for future generations of women in the world of beauty pageants. LaFaurie's death was confirmed by the Miss USA organization, who shared the news on their social media platforms. It is with great sorrow that we share the news of Jackie LaFaurie's passing, a pioneer who made history as the first ever Miss USA in 1952. The Miss USA organization wrote, "Jackie Laughery will always be remembered as a trailblazer in the world of beauty pageants. Her grace, poise, and intelligence captivated audiences and paved the way for future generations of women to shine on the stage." After her historic win in the Miss USA pageant, Laughery transitioned into a career in film and television, securing small or uncredited roles in various projects during the 1950s and 60s. In 1953, she appeared as a beautiful alien in Abbott and Costello, Go to Mars, and also had credited roles in Take Me to Town and The Veils of Baghdad. That same year, she began appearing in a recurring role in the legal TV drama Mr. District Attorney. Laughery also became Johnny Carson's on-air assistant during the debut of his first and short-lived game show, Earn Your Vacation. Throughout the 1950s, she took on roles in several films, including Son of Sinbad and The Naked Street, and appeared on television in shows such as Damon Runyon Theater, The Cisco Kid, and more. Her most high-profile film role of the 1950s came in the 1956 Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin comedy Partners, where she further solidified her presence on the silver screen. In 1957, Laughery starred in the military drama The D.I., which featured Jack Webb as a tough drill instructor. The following year, Laughery married Webb, marking her first marriage and his third. The couple divorced in 1964. Laughery's acting career spanned several popular TV series, including the 1955-56 Western Judge Roy Bean, as well as Wagon Train, Burke's Law, Perry Mason, Bonanza, and F Troop. Her final on-screen appearance came in the 1970s with a guest spot on Marcus Welby, M.D. Born on April 18, 1930 in Brooklyn, New York, Laughery attended St. Francis Xavier Academy for Young Ladies. She later entered and won the first Miss USA pageant held in California. In addition to her first marriage to Webb, Laughery married businessman Jack William Schweitzer in 1969, and the couple remained together until his death in 2009.